All right, hey everybody. Yeah, we're going to make some music tonight, and I'm so excited about this. And it seems like it shouldn't be that big a deal, but I've had issues with my push one, and I don't know if I've mentioned it before. I'm sure I have here and there, but here's what the issue was. There were a couple things when you were scrolling. You would go, and as soon as you hit Max for Live, anything Max for Live, like the Max for Live folder, if you're scrolling through all of your folders, it would crash just by going past it. Like you wouldn't even have to load anything. It would just crash. And all of the external plugins, which was more of a hassle, the Max for Live, I guess, trying to see what there is past that. There's not like that much past it, so I usually wouldn't make it that far down. Like there's plugins and places, but if I went to those, I was going through that. So it didn't happen that much, but anytime I loaded an external plugin, like anything at all, it would crash. So from like on push. So yeah, that was a hassle, and I've been hoping every little while. I worked with Ableton support for a few weeks trying to sort it out. We were trying all kinds of stuff. It turned out if I was going into a new profile on the computer itself, like a new user, then it wouldn't crash. We couldn't figure out what it was. Anyways, I've been checking every time there was an update to Mac OS, every time there was an update to Ableton Live, and there was something, the plugins themselves. I was making sure everything was updated in case there was like some rogue plugin causing it. And then today I ended up seeing this that was released, I guess yesterday. I didn't hear about it yesterday, but and in the release notes, way down here, there's a mention, where is it? There we go. Fixed a crash that occurred when browsing Max for Live devices on push 1 or push 2 while using the push to use legacy script debug option. And I don't think I was using that option. I'm assuming that's in the options.txt, and I don't have anything in options.txt, I don't think, besides something for the move to be able to transfer the presets over. I did a live stream or a video about that a while back showing how to do it, and you have to set it up that way right now. So but anyways, I don't know that I was using this, but maybe I was. Either way, I was like, what if it works? And it worked. Anyways, it's been a great day. I don't know why, it just feels like I have a whole new machine. And yeah, every time I want, like the thing I notice that I use it the most for is for Kickstart. So I'll go back to the top. I tend to use Kickstart a lot just because of the type of music I do. And a lot of the time it's just a lot quicker than sidechaining the normal way. A lot of the time it's just easier to throw it on there. And I use Kickstart not just for sidechaining, but also to give stuff movement sometimes. So every time I wanted to add Kickstart, I would go down to it, and like I would forget, and then I load it up, and instead of doing this, it would just crash Ableton. And every single time since October, well, since they released Ableton Live 12.1, I think that's where I started having issues. Anyways, whatever it was, I'm assuming it was related, and both the problems showed up at the same time, and then they fixed this Max for Live thing, and now that's fixed. So anyways, I'm happy. I'm gonna make some music tonight. And I noticed a few things in these release notes as well. It's not a big update. I usually do a live stream if there's, showing the updates. I guess there are a few little things, but they're minor. But I actually did learn something from this. One thing here, if we're searching, and I've never used this, you guys might be using this all the time, but if I want to go to all, first of all, one of the things they said is that they fixed it so, let's just do drum as an example. They fixed it so the Ableton, the Max for Live, and the native devices in Ableton show up before your plugins on something like this. And I never really even thought of, like, I don't usually search here. I usually go to plugins, I search there or whatever. But under all, I could see that would be useful, just if you know where things are, whether you're using the Ableton stuff or not. Just if you know they're going to show up first, you sort of get used to, you know, how far down the list to look. But one of the things I noticed here is they said they changed this here from save, I think. Which one is it? Yeah, the plus button. Oh, yeah. So it used to be a plus button, and now it's a bookmark, which actually makes a little bit more sense. But I didn't even know you could do this, where I've searched drum here. If I hit this here, it will actually create a label called drum, or I can change it to anything. Drum, all drum search or something. And it'll have a new label set up. It'll be in your favorites. So I don't know if I'll use this necessarily. Now, how do I get rid of it? Because I don't. Oh, there we go. Remove from sidebar. But yeah. Anyways, that's. And then is this going to have? I'm just wondering if it's going to create a new tag. I don't want it creating a tag for it. So no, I don't think so. I think that hopefully we'll have removed it. But anyways, that's sort of an interesting thing to have. There are a few things here. Instead of clear button, they put an X. So I'm assuming it's not this. I'm assuming it's this one here for the results. Yeah, so a few things. Apparently, there's something I saw that instead of when you go down to infinity, it just gives you the infinity symbol instead of doing minus INF. Will that work here? Yeah, there we go. So you can see here. So anyways, a few little changes, but like I said, it's not big enough to do a live stream specifically about this. So I figured I'm going to do a live stream and do some music instead. And yeah, and look at maybe try a few of these little things that have been updated, but I don't think there's that much that'll change how we're going to make music today. So I think I'm going to make deep house. Maybe a little. I've been doing deep house, but like a little bit more of an Afro house feel, but not Afro house, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. It's a little too. You know what? I might just look for a 909. I don't love that one. Do processed. What I should do. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. I was going to say what I should do is just load up a song that I've started already because, yeah, I tend to work on a lot of different songs and I keep starting a new one before finishing any of the old ones. And like I have hundreds of, and I'm worried because I think I'm getting close to 1,000 now. And it feels ridiculous to say I have 1,000 songs that I started and you know, I've released one this year, so I have to do that a little bit more. So, but like work on the ones that I have already instead of creating a new one. But you know what? We're going to just create a new one this time. And I tend to leave out the snare. So I'm going to do the snare first, like snare and clap, because I forget. I'm sure I have some tracks that I release that don't have a snare and clap at all. And it may not be on purpose. Like it may be just that I forgot to add them. Might be able to use this one. We're gonna have to layer. I like this one, but I like it to be a little bit longer, but Actually, it's not that bad, because if we take this clap down, we're going to take both of them down, but it's a little too, first of all, this one's a little, and I'm going to transpose it down a little bit. So I wanted something longer, but I'm realizing now we might even be looking at something a little bit shorter. But anyways, okay. This will do the job, but I want to get rid of a little bit of the clap. Maybe have the snare down a little bit too. That snare is too long. I sort of like when it's... when you hardly even notice it's there. Like, this is how I would love it, where just a little tiny bit, but yeah, we need a little bit more. But I don't know, for some reason, I'm a hi-hat guy. I love the hi-hats on there, on whatever track, but the snare. But yeah, we need something a little bit lower on the snare, though. Just to... maybe this, actually, might be able to... just, yeah, I don't want to, this is a weird waveform. It's weird. I don't know what's going on there, but the only thing now is we're adding low end, and we don't want too much low end, because it's going to fight with the kick. Yeah, no, this is not a good sound. Like, what is that waveform? So we're just going to replace it with this. I don't like that one either. Have it look completely different. That's something completely different. I'm going to remove the... these are nice claps, though. But anyways, okay. We're just going to go with the snare. We don't want to loop, even though we could just take a little part out. We don't have time for that. Okay. Actually, I sort of do have time for that, because not really doing a whole lot this evening, but anyways. Okay. Actually, you know what? This is going to work. We'll come back and fix that later, but... okay, the hat is my favorite part of the song, and I'm just finding stuff at random. First one I load, I sort of like we're gonna make it, I want it a little bit smoother. Trying to figure out if we should layer a few. I'll come back to these. Actually, I like this one. I want something just, I don't know, just very calm. Let's see, even if we, I like the feel of this one. Just gonna center it a little bit. Okay, so percussion, we have a couple options here. I might, okay, I'm going to go and find just a random drum kit. Maybe a 909 kit would be nice. Sort of feel like I want to do something a little bit more original, but oh no, wait a minute. We just, okay, put it on the wrong track. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a couple loops here just to give it a little bit of a bass. And what I tend to do with loops, I'll start out with percussion loops. I don't like using any loop or any sound like on their own, the way they came. So I like to work with them. What I'll do with loops a lot of the time, and you'll see in a minute, but I like to take little bits and pieces of them. So I'll get a few different loops instead of layering 3 different loops, which helps, not being recognizable in the way that, you don't want somebody else releasing a track with the same loop sounding the same. But I tend to use little bits and pieces of each, and I sort of mix them together. And then a lot of the time, what I'll end up doing after is I'll take the loop and I will go to, actually we won't have the option here, but on an audio track, you have the option to turn it into MIDI, and then I'll go and replace the sound. So I'm basically taking a little bit of a feel of it, but with its own sounds. But anyways, we'll see where this ends up. And what we might do is, I might do this way, way, way in the background. So I don't like doing this because it can fight with the hi-hat. So then I'll be side chaining it to the hi-hat, and yeah, anyways, I don't love having to do that, but adding a little bit of swing, maybe a little too much. And if you're wondering how I'm not using the groove pool here, I tend to use the swing on Ableton Push. It sounds so good. It's tough. Like, you've got so many more options in the groove pool, but there's something about the swing that's on there that I love. But as you can tell now, it's just too much going on. So I guess we will sidechain it. I always try to figure out if I should sidechain it or remove the ones while the other one's playing. So we're going to start with sidechaining and see how much of it helps. So here we expand it, sidechain. I'm going to go to the hat, pre-effects. So if we listen to it on its own, if you're not familiar with sidechaining, we're basically doing it so it ducks when the other one's playing. So when this one here is playing, this one ducks. So you can sort of tell when it goes up and down. We don't want this one that loud. Like, we're just adding a little bit of a bass to the track. But I almost feel like, okay, we're gonna change the sidechain settings, but I almost feel like we should remove it, like remove the MIDI hits on that one. So we may look at that in a minute. All right. Okay, so the attack should be at 0. Actually, that's not bad. That actually made a difference. Yeah, so that's what the issue was. Like, if we were to slow it way down, you could tell the attack, because the attack was up a little bit higher, it wasn't ducking it right away. It was waiting a little bit. So you had like both, and then it would duck. It sounded weird, and then, okay, I like this. What we're gonna do right away on here is make sure it's not fighting with anything. So I'm going to bring this all the way up, and what I like to do is figure out where this is hitting. So most of it is at 10K, which I don't love, but okay. So I probably don't have to worry too much about this one, because I don't think that's where. So we may go over here and just duck it a little bit. around 10K, just so they're not fighting for the same. Okay, we've got a little bit of a feel going. And then this is where we're going to look at maybe a couple loops. Oh, top loops and I'm looking for something really smooth. Actually, this one might work. It blends in really well because you can hardly tell like what's what. The only thing is, we're going to do a little bit of the same thing on this one. Yeah, see, that's the problem is this one's basically... Well, so this is where we're going to use this that I haven't been able to use for a very long time. You know what? I'm going to save this first, though, because I'm worried that... Okay, so what do we call this thing? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, what I'm noticing here is it's basically playing the same notes, so we don't want that. But I might be able to just get rid of the hats. So instead of usually when we do side chaining or the pump effect, it's like this. We're actually going to do the opposite here, where we're going to let the first part go through and then we're going to quiet it down every beat. See? So instead of this, we're basically just removing. Yeah, just giving it a little bit of a feel. We're going to do the EQing again here. I'm going to get rid of anything in the low end because it's just a top loop. We don't want anything messing with what we're dealing with down there. Okay. I might slow it down a little bit. All right, we're getting a little bit of a feel. And then what we're going to do now is this one. I'm going to quantize it the same way I did. So it's adding a little bit of the same swing that we used earlier. Other ones need this. The snare, it won't change anything. The hat. Now, one thing I always forget to do, and I feel like I should do, is deal with the velocity on... is this new? Where when I choose a velocity here, it's choosing both of them? I don't remember seeing that before. Anyways, I like to have sort of, if somebody's playing a hi-hat, like a cymbal, they'll have sort of that little feel where it's like louder, quiet, louder, quiet. So that's what we sort of want to replicate here. Really, I never noticed this on the velocity when two of them are at the same time. Usually I'm stuck selecting them and bringing both down. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a setting that I turned on without knowing, but so if we... You don't really notice it, but if you're listening on headphones, you'll notice just a little bit. It's almost like a clock going tick tock, tick tock. Anyways, you don't want it to be noticeable. It's just a little bit of a difference. Okay, we're done with the drums, and I'm going to take this here and bring it along with the drums just so we know what we're dealing with. And, yeah, let's do the bass, I guess. I never know where to start with bass. Like, I have so many good options that... there's this one here called Bassmaster that isn't very well known, but I actually really like the sound of it. I'm going to try it real quickly, but if we don't find anything that works, I'm just going to save this again. I'm so afraid that it's going to crash, especially now that I'm using that stuff on push. that is working. And that's one thing I was thinking about with Push or with Ableton overall, is I'm impressed that they still support Push 1, because like most companies, as soon as there's new hardware out, they give up on the old one. And this one they've been supporting. Like I've had this almost 10 years, I think. And when they make a change on Push 2 or 3 that is possible on Push 1, like some stuff just isn't possible because of the screen or because whatever. But when it is possible, they actually add it to it and they keep supporting it over, which I love. Like I find that fantastic. You know what? Yeah, okay. I was going to switch. My concern, honestly, with plugins that are lesser known is that I tend to take a long time to work on my tracks. So I'm opening old tracks. And I'm always worried that if I don't finish this track by the time the plugin isn't supported anymore, then I'm sort of stuck. But we're going to try it. I like the sound of this. It's got a little bit of a Korg M1 feel. Okay, we'll choose a key relatively randomly. I just want a placeholder. Could actually work. I just want a placeholder and then we'll work on it afterwards. Like this one here. Just do a little repeating. Actually, I was going to fix the end of it, but I sort of like that it cuts. Okay, anyways. Got this. I'm going to add an auto filter on here. Might not even need it, actually. So there isn't a lot of high end. I'm looking at having just a little bit of a sub bass feel, and then I'll probably add another bass for the higher frequencies. But I think this one might work. Trying to figure out if I like that higher sound, like, or is it this one here? I'm trying to figure out if I like this here. Not this one. This sound here. But I sort of like it. Okay, we're gonna leave it. It feels like we've got two different sounds going. Anyways, I'll work on fixing. No, actually, I like this. I'm wondering if I haven't used this one in a little while. I'm wondering if we bring the attack up a little bit, it might just sound a little bit smoother. Okay, I like this. All right. I mentioned the M1. I think that's what we're gonna use pretty extensively in here. It's probably my favorite plugin, and I don't love the UI on here, but just the sound that comes out of it and how much you're able to do to the sound, and just the number of presets. Like, if we look, like, it's thousands of presets. So we're going to go to organ. And actually, that's not the feel. It's not at all the feel I was going for, but I think. that's not what we're. That's a little bit closer to what I'm. Now, if you use the M1, the annoying thing is that if I do this, let's just find one that. Let's say I love this sound here, and you go and you do something else, and you go in here, whatever. See, it's gone. So you actually have to select the sound that you use. I think it was this one here. So what we might do is just a chord. We might do chords, and then what we're going to do is bring it up and down with some filters and stuff. So. Okay. I don't like the first half of what we did, but I like the second half. Now, why is the first one sounding so different? I'm wondering if one of the notes is getting cut off. No. I have a feeling, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, so if this is selecting all of them. Okay. Oh, is that what it was? Okay, so if we have this pencil where, what is it? You suck at producing. I don't know if you ever watch his streams or his videos. He always says B for pencil or B for Bensel, or I don't know, whatever. It's just weird to be using the letter B for pencil. But anyways, that's what we have. And yeah, so if we have that on and we go here, it selects them all. And if we have that off, I never even noticed that before. I don't know if it's probably always been there, but I've been doing this like, so see that first note? It's lower because these higher ones, the velocity is down. So we're just going to bring the velocity up a little bit on these higher notes. Okay, we got a little bit of the right feel going. The only thing I don't love on the M1, actually on most plugins, is the reverb that's built into synth plugins. I don't know why. There's something about it. Serum is the same. People love the synth and the reverb in Serum. I love the synth. I love every single part of that plugin except that reverb. But and this one, it's an older, like, it's meant to replicate what the Korg M1 sounded like, but effects and reverbs have just come a long way. Like, it used to be on my first computers, like years and years ago, like early 90s, or first one would have been in the 80s, but you know, early 90s when I was trying to do a bit more music stuff, maybe late 80s, the reverb, it would just like bring your computer to its knees, and all it was really doing was just a bunch of copies of the same sound and just running them all at the same time. I mean, I'm sure it was doing more than that, but that's what it felt like. So it was just so rough. I mean, that's technically what reverb is just having each of those reflections like all at once. But yeah, they've come a long way, and the sound of reverbs now, I just like the sound. So I won't use the reverb from here, even though it looks like there is a little bit of it. I tend to use just an external reverb. So what we're going to do here is, I like the sound of this. Okay, we're going to save this again. And duplicate this a few times. We're going to add a filter to it. And then this is what we're going to be automating here. Wondering if I can filter type, frequency, there we go. So we're just going to start here and see if we... So you can sort of see what I'm doing here. bring it down quite a bit. It might sound like we're removing too much of it. Actually, we're going to have to duplicate it again. Okay, we're going to have to duplicate it again because I want this even longer. We're going to get, oops, going to get rid of this here. And this. We're going to go here. Now it sounds like we might be going a little bit too far here of removing it, but we're going to have other instruments playing. A lot of the time you can work too where as this one's going down, you've got the other one coming back up and whatever, like they can sort of work together, but not sure what. Oh, I let it go, that's why. So we're gonna go pretty close to what we had here, and okay. We're gonna get rid of these here. Like I said, I'm not sure what happened here exactly. Oh, these here. Okay. And what we can do as well, because I think I was gonna throw some reverb on here, right? What we might do is have that reverb moving a little bit as well. We could actually take the same automation. I might do that. I might take the same automation. I'm not sure, but okay. So this is obviously too much. So we're gonna bring the mix down. Like, this sounds beautiful. And if we were to take the reverb in the M1, like, which sounds good for some uses and stuff, but I like this sound better. What I would like to do though is I feel like I'd want to I think I'm going to group. I'm going to group. See, it's acting differently though. The push is, it used to be when you went to add effect, it would go to the top. It would go back to the top every time. Now it's going to what I used last. And I'm not sure how to change that because I'd like to get it back where when you load it, it goes to the top because it's just, at this point, it's muscle memory. So. Okay, so we're going to do an EQ8. I'm going to group these. I want to see if... Yeah, that doesn't help. Okay, we might have to do this on a send. You see, I don't want to have it on a send because I like how it blends into the sound. I just feel like maybe it's just the whole instrument altogether. There's just too much low end that. And what this is going to do, because of this filter here, there may be a point where we don't hear it anymore, but I don't want it messing with the bass here anyway. So I want to see what happens when it goes really low here. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but because we're cutting the low end, if this is cutting the high end and leaving, okay, no, we're good. If it was just leaving the low end and we're cutting that out, we'd have no sound, right? So, or very little. Okay, this works. I'll see if we can, I think we did quantize it. It's got that same groove. Okay, I might look for some sort of a pad, I guess. I like having like a stringy type pad, and it's sort of like old school deep house will have that. But for some reason, I don't know, it still sounds amazing. So let's go here and what is this? The path is here. Missing file. So some of the noises just aren't. Yeah, I don't want that kind of pad anyways. This could work. So what we want to have is just really low. I feel like that one's too low and the other one's too high, but okay, this will work. So I just want a really long. I'm going to quantize this. We're going to make it much longer. And then we hit this legato. And if you're not using that legato button, so many people don't know about it because I see so many people working on stuff and then they're taking it and then stretching it out to the end or whatever. Legato just goes right to wherever your next note is playing, or if you don't have the next note, it goes right to the end of your clip. So my test for this, there's a couple things I do on this. My test is like, I don't like where it doesn't have it. And then, you know, if the attack is higher, so we're going to go here and we'll see if we can reduce the attack, because it's a type of sound that you don't even want to notice that it's there. It's just so because it's sort of fading in, it makes you notice it. So we're just going to reduce the attack on here. Need a little bit of it, but it's gonna be low enough. And then what I tend to do on here, and this is why it was so annoying that my push was crashing when I would load external plugins, is this kickstart I use on stuff like this, and I will use it on here. See where it's doing this? I don't want it to be that obvious. Here, I don't want it to be that obvious, but I will bring it down just a little bit where it's sort of got a little bit of a feel. And because of where the kick and the hi-hat are, it sort of matches that speed. So sort of tell, even when it's lower, you can tell just a little bit of that. Might even be a little bit too high, actually. Because I want the string to be there all the time. Like, I don't want the pumping effect. And again, we're going to remove some of the low end here. This is working. Here, I might find, I'm torn between like an arpeggiated sound that goes, but I don't want to have too much going the whole time, or just like a random, actually, I'm just picking something at random, but an 808 is not at all what I'm looking for. So let's try one of these plucks. And I want to add, if you guys want the most impressive, or one of the most impressive plugins that's completely free, it says Valhalla Supermassive. If you don't have it, like, just leave right now and go get it and then come back, because like really, this is fantastic. And the developer keeps adding new presets to it. So every little while there's going to be an update to it with a whole bunch of new sounds. And I haven't even discovered most of the ones that are in there already. Like, because you tend to look for a few, and by like the third sound you look at, you found the perfect one. So, but see, I think these are when they added. So he did an update and late 2021, 2022, 23, 24, spring 2022. So anyways, let's just go. We'll just try one of the new ones at random. And this is not like it's not like even the reverb that we had where you bring it and it's just, it adds to the feel. Like a lot of these sounds are, it's very obvious that you're using the effect. Like it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, whatever. It's not just a little quiet thing that blends in. Like usually it is pretty noticeable, but if we bring the, see, like these are, and we just went through 5 of these presets and they're all completely different. Might be able to use something like this. All I want is, actually that might work. And then what I'll do with these is sometimes I will do an off amount. Like instead of doing 4 bars or 8 bars, I'll do like 7 or 12 or 15 or something. We don't want it that loud at all, but all I want is just a little bit of sound that goes through once in a while. And because I'm not doing it the exact 8 bars, it sort of surprises you every little while. Oh, see, it just played, but we didn't hear it. I might have gone a little bit too low. I just want to adjust it a little bit because I feel like is it here? Yeah. I feel like they come in just a little bit too late. Oh, that's because of the mix here. We want to have a little bit of the original signal going through. I'll just listen to the next time it plays. It's going to come in a little bit earlier every time. You don't even really notice it, but okay, this will work. So it'll end up being like coming in at different times, but then eventually it just gets back to being where it was originally. So every whichever number of bars, it goes to the right amount. But I feel like it's almost too often. Actually, no, it might not be. I might actually double this and yeah, let's do like 11. I don't want it too much. I just want it to have a little bit of that sound every little while. You know what? We'll leave it how it was. Okay, so we're gonna look for a different. We're gonna do the same type of thing here, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. Like find. I like plucks for this because they're not too long. Like it'll end up being. It's almost like you drop it in and go. Prodigy. That's not at all what we're looking for. This isn't either. I think this pack is the one that I always worry about using because I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I think this is the one where some of the sounds are really quiet and some are really loud. I sort of like that. Sort of like the bass in here, but we have a bass already. Oh, this could be good, actually. Okay, let's use this one. And then what I'll do a lot of the time, I like the look of this. It looks like closed eyes. What I like to do a lot of the time is I'll start with this, and then as it develops, then I'll go in and adjust. Like instead of taking the preset, I'll adjust sounds from the preset and sort of make my own. But yeah, it's a good starting point. And then, so we're going to do the arpeggiator here. Oh, I'm not sure what I just pressed, but that reminds me we should save. All right, the arp. Actually, just this on its own. We're going to bring this way down in the mix later, but so we're going to have to get rid of this first one here. And quantize, and this one will be over. And this is, like I was saying, where we can use the the legato button. Did it just for that one, but do select all, legato, and it'll play the whole time. I'm not sure if I like the sound anymore, but it's not bad. There's something about the sound that I don't like, and for some reason why it's length 5. I feel like it's clashing somehow. Okay, I might have to go change. I sort of like what this is doing, where you're noticing some notes more than the others. You're almost missing that first note, and actually that last note you're missing. So it's just a dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I like this one. But I feel like it's too much. So we're gonna see if normal for printers to go off out of the blue like this. It keeps doing that. Okay. Yeah, there's a little too much. I'm gonna throw, okay, we have a reverb here. I might have to use this one, but not the whole time. I just feel like it's... Yeah, there's something I don't... Okay, you know what? We're going to come back to that one because I like the idea of it, but I'm not loving it. All right, so we've got another MIDI track here. I'm wondering what we could... Go with Serum again, or let's do something. We'll go for like Wavetable or something. I don't use it nearly enough. It's basically the Ableton version of Serum. I don't know if they like us saying that, But yeah, it's the same type of idea as, because the way it's set up and the way it does the synthesis. So this is just I think this is just the basic. I think that was the initial patch, which actually sounds really nice. All right, let's see. Let's see if this can. No, that's not what we're looking for. Definitely not a bass. Okay, what we might do is just create our own. This reminds me, actually, you know what? We're gonna skip this entirely. I'm going back to the M1 because I want to see if we can find an interesting. I don't want a bell necessarily. Might have this just in the background. I sort of like the feel of this. So almost blended in with the other sound we had earlier. That second one is just a little louder than I'd like. We're going to make this really long. Like we're going to do this 32 maybe. Yeah. So it's only going to come in once in a while. We're going to bring it down even more. I'll leave this one louder, but this one here, just bring the velocity down. I don't mind having this repeating a little bit more often now that I think about it. So I might do 16. Okay, so and then this is usually the point where I want to see what we're working with. So I'm going to take all of these and bring them all. Actually, I think I can do. Why doesn't it select all? No. Try this one. No. I should be able to select all of these, right? Oh, I have to do it on here. Okay. So we're going to bring all of these up. And then what I want to do is try to see if we can start just seeing what this will sound like if we arrange, if we arrange it. So I'm just going to do this. Bring them. Okay. I'm not sure why. Let's just bring them all up. And yeah, just start to see a little bit of an arrangement. And the part that I tried the most yeah, some of these aren't playing anymore. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to get rid of the beat. We're going to take one out at a time. Actually, no, we're going to leave this one here. That's the feel I'm looking for. And yeah, I'm not loving what I'm looking for is, it's sort of tough to explain. What I'm looking for is when I remove everything except for a couple of, Actually, we're going to get rid of this here. Oh, maybe I didn't go far enough. There we go. If we go, let's see what, like I said, it's sort of tough to explain what I'm looking for, but what I want to have is sort of a minimum of sounds, and then when they stop, just when you bring everything back in, it just, you feel it. And sometimes you need to work with it a little bit to find, I don't know, find the ideal sound that you're going to use in that sort of breakdown. But this could work. I think I'm going to have, so that's the thing. I'm going to have to remove, we'll just go. I'm going to make sure that when I have that breakdown, I'm not using this in it, or I guess what I might have to do is just bring, actually, let's try it here. I'll have to do this sort of manually, but yeah, no, actually, yeah, this, we have to bring this back down, but yeah, this, we need something else. You might need something that plays with this. I think I've just figured it out. This one here, what we're going to do is have an organ, but just once in a while. So we're going to get rid of this. We'll go back. Now we're using the same sound, so we don't want that. Let's find a different organ. Actually, okay, we're going to try it. So we're going to quantize this. And what we're going to try to do here, oh, if I do that, I'm going to have to redo a big part of this. But anyways, what I want to do is try to remove this one here when the other one's playing. So these here. Yeah, I think that's what we'll want. Oh, we need to remove this one here as well. Actually, we might leave that lower one too, so they sort of blend in. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do I'm trying to find an easy way to do this because I wish there was a way to just copy and paste. I don't feel like removing them all individually, but I think that's what we're going to have to do. So every fourth one, we're going to remove these two. And every fourth bar. Or fourth, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it this one? Okay, I think, and the reason I'm doing this, oops, oh yeah, I don't want to, now that I think about it, I don't want to remove them completely. I'm just going to mute them because it lets us do a little bit more afterwards. But you know what, now that I think about it, I may change my mind, and I know we should be printing stuff and, you know, committing to whatever, but I'm just going to duplicate it, and I'm going to fix it. Okay, I have it as a backup here. So, okay. Go back to this. We'll get to it. That's the only thing with making a long loop like this is when we want to make a change, we have to do it on a big part. And I don't want to just repeat it over and over. Well, for two reasons. First of all, we'd have to redo that automation that we had earlier, but also I want to have the little variations. But you know what? No, wait a second. These, I think we duplicated this one anyways, right? So, okay, I could. Anyways. How many bars do we have? 32. We're up to 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And to mute them, if you're not familiar with it, you just hit 0 on your keypad. I don't know if it works with the 0 up here as well. Yeah, it does. So yeah, you just press 0 and it'll mute them, but they're still there. So you can press 0 again on them to bring them back if you realize you made a mistake. But yeah, there's an easier way to do this, but we're about halfway. Okay, so and then the reason we're doing this is maybe this other sound will work a little bit better in that sort of breakdown of the track where that'll be playing sort of on its own and just help it all come back in. And obviously there's stuff we do to it when it does come back in with the levels. Like I tend to do, almost there. I tend to do, I'll show you in a minute, but I tend to play with the level on the main channel when we do that. So if I'm doing, yeah, I like this. I'll play it with the level here where I'll bring it down just a little tiny bit, maybe 1 dB, maybe 1.5. And then when it comes back in, it just comes in stronger. So there's stuff you can do with that. And also the same thing with removing some of the low end. And then when it comes back, it really hits. But I find that sometimes testing it this way just helps you realize, I don't know, it helps give you a direction of where this track is going and how it'll sound once we start removing stuff. So we're going to remove these. I think these two are organs. You can tell that first one is going up and down. So we're going to get rid of the one that's playing more often. Okay, I could work with this. We'll have to deal with the timing, but I like to get something that sounds a little bit like a vocal, and then I may end it there for tonight, but so I'll do a vocal, find something.
Receive it.
Oh. Yeah, no, these are not what we're looking for. I really want to just take something that's... Yeah, not these either. Just looking for something almost at random that will sound... No, you know what? Let's try... Might be able to do something here. I just want like a word, but I'm not even going to use... I'm not even going to use the word. I should maybe just record something with a vocoder or something, but... These are nothing like what we're looking for. I'm still alive. Okay, something like this is what we're looking for. So we're going to create a MIDI track. We're going to drop this right into the track itself. So we want to have it on this part here. We drop it here so we can go to slice mode in Simpler. And I'm not looking at doing a chopped sound. I'm just looking, I'm almost looking to make it like it's saying something, but it's not really saying anything. Okay, hold on. No. Okay, this could work. I guess we are, doing vocal chops, but usually I like to try to make it sound like it's singing. I don't know, like, okay. So we're going to transpose it down. Okay, so this is in B. I don't even remember what our track is. G minor. You know what? See, because I don't like when they say, I guess I could, okay, let's just go back to this one here. Where do we have this one? I just want to find where it was. Isn't there a way to get it to load? Okay. We're just going to find something in minor. Might even do this to simplify our life. And, no, it should bring Vox minor. Doesn't even matter like what. I don't like to use the same one we're in, so we're going to do B minor. No. Might have them. I don't like to use the key that I'm working in because I want it to sound a little bit different. No, okay. Because the reason is when this says it's in B, sometimes I'll use B. It's actually in B, and sometimes it's in B minor. I just want to find, okay, well, let's go back to this one here. And I know do you mind? No, it's not this one. Is it this one? I was sure there was a way. Do you guys know of a way to... I thought there was a way to see this in the browser, but I can't find it. Oh, maybe we have to go on the clip. There we go. Okay. Show and Finder. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take it. And I know I should be able to do this by ear, but I cannot. So We're going to bring it in here. And this should tell us what. Okay, so it's in D minor. Okay, so that's probably B relative key. I'm assuming is D minor, right? No. B major relative is G sharp minor. Okay, so what we will need to do here, we wanted to bring it to G minor, is do over here. We should be able to transpose it by 1. Does that make sense? That may be off. I'm just looking at the chat here. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. This doesn't sound right, but what I'm looking for is just the sound that I can add. We might even look at Supermassive again. I don't usually use it that much in a track. Like I'll use it here and there on one sound, but I don't like to overuse it. But let's just see here. I don't want this. I want like a reverby. There, we'll go massive presets. Let's just see. Happy little clouds. Nope, that's not what we want. It's a little too long. So we'll bring the feedback down. No, that's not what we want. No, I'm not feeling this this sound in the first place. So I might you know what? I'm going to leave it here. Oh no, let's find a let's find a decent vocal track, and then I hate leaving when something's not working because yeah, then you get back to it and it takes you a while to get into it. Okay. We might even be able to use this. Okay, that's way too long, but it's giving us sort of what. I don't even know if it's Supermassive is what we want. I'm actually going to get rid of this. That's not what we want here. But I'm going to go to the hybrid. Hybrid reverb. I sort of like that new thing where they said that they put, when you search, it puts the Ableton devices at the top. No, I guess it would. That's what would happen here, anyways, because we're in audio effects. Okay, never mind what I just said. And then let's see if we can find one of these presets to just get us. Yeah, no, not feeling the vocal on here. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on this one. We're gonna save it here, and yeah, just ignore the last last 10 minutes, and yeah, we'll try to either work on it at some time. There we go. B minor relative would be D major, and okay. What about the other way around? Okay, let's go back to, where's the sound that we had here? I think it was B major. What's the relative key for B major? I'm doing a bunch of, oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's B major we're looking for. This is in B, or it should be in B major. So I think, what was it, G sharp minor? So we should be able to bring it down by one semitone. Like in theory, this should work with -1, but I like to have a little bit more of a difference. So if we're going, the -5 is going to be perfect. See, my brain is not working tonight. This might work actually with this reverb in there. It's way too long, but A flat. Okay. So in theory, if we're in G minor here, we should be able to, yeah. If we go down one semitone, we should be in, right? Or is my brain not working? I really appreciate. Thanks, Joseph Page, for being my music theory translator tonight. Yeah, this actually could work. We're just gonna reduce the length of this. Oh, we are on Valhalla here. Okay, that's not bad. We're just gonna bring this feedback down though, way down. Doesn't sound right though, huh? Just that long reverb we have to... Okay, that's a little bit better. And then... we don't have anything recorded on here. I'm just going to do a very occasional... Yeah, that's not sounding right either. Yeah, something not right with it. Okay, so this is G. It should be working. Like it should be... We should have the right... It just doesn't sound right. The tempo is 118. Which sometimes I end up working at this tempo and then a little bit, like before releasing it, a lot of the time I'll listen to it and then I'll go, especially with stuff that sounds a little Afro housey. Sometimes I'll end up going down a little bit to 115. Sometimes it sounds a little bit smoother, but yeah, we're in 118. Here. I feel like I want it to be even a little bit more like blended into the background. So we're going to bring the mix up a little bit on this Supermassive. Yeah, that works. For some reason, I think this the pre-delay to 254 on the Valhalla. This isn't... Okay, so... This is the delay time. Is there even a pre-delay on here? We can do it on let's try the delay at 254. Or we can just sync it to 1/4 note or an 1/8 note. I have to wait till it comes back. Oops. Oh, that sounds nice. Actually, it wasn't synced. You're right. Okay, on the delay. Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, that does sound better. And it's not coming in every. Like I've got it every 6 bars, just so it's sort of not super repetitive. I feel like it's a little too early. I might want to do it here. No. Maybe even a tiny bit earlier. No. Okay, it was good where it was. Is the 8th note. Okay, so that's what we have here. So I'm assuming if we actually go back to, yeah, there we go, 254.2. Very good mathing. Your brain is working better than mine tonight. Yeah, it does sounds much better that way. So thanks for the suggestion. Okay, so we've got that. We've got the right note. I think they're, yeah, like this isn't accurate where they said it was in B. I don't think it is, or at least that note isn't, but like isn't in that scale. But anyways, we got it going. And let's just see, actually, if we might be able to use that sound that we just put in there. Just gonna see how it hits once we. I want to try getting just after this, the vocal. Okay, that's, yeah. I like that better than what we had earlier where the organ was going through right until that drop. I call it a drop even though like in house music the drop is like really strong. Like in deep house, I guess it would be considered a drop, but it seems funny to call it a drop because it's not the same thing. But yeah, it's what it is. Okay, so that's something that works. I'll have to sit down and add a little bit, mix it a little bit, panning, which I tend to forget to do once in a while. I don't forget, but when I'm mixing down way at the end, I'm like, wait a second, I have to pan some of these a little bit more, especially because the percussion's in here. Yeah, see, this here, could send it side to side a little bit, and I might just do it automatically with the auto pan. I love this, the preset called Around the Head, but I don't use it. I don't usually use it as is, but actually this does sound nice. I bring the amount down a little bit, but yeah. A lot of the time I'll adjust the phase so it's a little bit more predictable. It's not always what we want, but I like when it goes left, right. It's sort of got a little bit of movement. just FYI, if you ever need to set the delay time, I'm going to write that down. 6,000 divided by your BPM is a quarter note. So let's try it here. Where's the calculator on here? Okay, so 60,000 divided by 118. 508. That's a quarter note, and then divided by 2. That's what you're saying, 254. Really? Is that easy? Okay, I'm gonna how do I copy this from the... Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I did not know it was that easy. I actually figured there was more of a formula to it. Wow. Okay. Wasn't expecting to learn some math type formulas tonight. And that is extremely helpful. So yeah, thank you very much. So we don't really notice this going side to side, but just the fact that it is, sometimes we can bring it up a little bit higher in the mix because, yeah, I see it's a little bit too obvious now. So we'll either reduce this, or we can reduce the amount so it's not panning as much. I don't even know if I like the panning on here now that I think about it. Yeah, I might reduce it way, way low. Like, I like having a little tiny bit of it, but... Okay, so let's try your trick here. So if we have the rate here, so we'd be looking at what was it? 60,000. I'm gonna load up the calculator again. We're gonna do this one as a quarter note. So I guess it was 508. So 60,000. The only problem with this is I have to remember if I do change the tempo later. That's why I should probably sync it, but I'm doing this for fun. Been an audio engineer for 25 years, full of otherwise useless knowledge and coffee. Well, you know what? Your knowledge was useful tonight, so I really appreciate that. Because it did make a difference. It made a difference right away. So, okay, so did I just delete that? 508, I think it was. So we're gonna go. We're pretty close here, but I'm gonna have to hit Shift. So 510 is gonna be close enough. And where's this loop? Is it this one here? No, it was this one here. Yeah, I sort of like this on the quarter note instead of the eighth note, so it's not as obvious going back and forth. So yeah, 508. Perfect. Okay. Well, oops. I don't want this. Trying to hear if we even notice it. Sometimes it's just we notice it just because we know it's there, but if you're trying to listen as somebody who has never heard it, I'm trying to listen as someone who doesn't know that this panning is there. So, okay. Okay, there's some stuff I want to do to this, but yeah, that'll be for another day. But I like how this is turning out. We're gonna save this. And I want to try before I'm done. I'm actually going to try. It doesn't matter, I guess. I want to see if the other plugins will make it crash. Because every external plugin was crashing before. So I think way at the beginning. And then we're going to go and try just something random. Try Melodyne. Okay, that did not make it crash. And I'm going to try, this is the AU version, so we're going to try the VST version of something. Megaphone. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this plugin. It's actually a lot of fun. Yeah, that one works. Moon Echo, which I should have used this. I don't know if this is still free. This is another one that is a whole lot of fun. And you can get rid of a little bit of, there's one of these to get rid of the sort of that white noise, but is the moon dust? Yeah, this one here. But it gives you an interesting, what do I have it on? I don't even know where I just added this. Ah, there we go. On this one here. You won't notice it as much on percussion, but anyways, it could be a whole lot of fun. It's sort of got that delay sound of like sounds going to the moon and back type of thing. Tough to explain, but let's try it here. It's been a while since I've used it, but if this is free, it's really worth, like if it's still free, it's really worth getting. I'm pretty sure it was free when I did get it, because yeah. So we're just gonna do maybe a ping sound or something. Actually, this one might be perfect. So we're gonna add this. And there's a way to... See, I haven't pressed it again. Okay, I'm gonna try it here, and then I'm not gonna touch it. And then, so it's almost like the signal goes to the moon and then comes back. And then we'll try the Doppler. So you can adjust how it sounds. And then I wonder what you just taught me. Okay, time for bed. Have a great night, Joseph. I'm out of here soon anyways. So thank you very much for dropping by, and thanks again for that. I really appreciate it. And let's try a few of these presets. Maybe we can... I don't like that one as much. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do, is see if we can adjust the timing. And there we go, the time. Oh, we've got the milliseconds here, and this one cannot sync. So that's where Joseph's tip is going to be very useful, because it wouldn't work with this otherwise. So it's been a while since I've used this. I like it. Like, it gives it, like, this preset has a little bit of white noise mixed in with it. And then this random. Even this, like, you could have it on a pad. This would sound really good. Anyways, great let's find out if it's still free, because Moon Echo plugin. Actually forgot I had this until just now. That's a stream I want to do very soon, is going through plugins that I forgot I had, because I have a whole bunch on here that I think I could do some interesting stuff with. But I get all excited once I get the plugin, and then I get sidetracked and do something else. And yeah, grab it for free. So there you go. Moon Echo by Audio Thing. Like, it's a lot of fun. And like, these presets are all pretty different. And you mix this with some sort of gating effect that will have some rhythm. Dodge, I think it's called Dodge Pro. I used to use constantly. If we do this, we get a... So you can give... You're actually giving some rhythm to that white noise almost. Let's see if we can... So you can imagine, like... So you can mix a couple of these effects together and get some interesting sounds out of them, bring them back in and do other stuff with it. So anyways, yeah, this Dodge Pro is not free. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it on sale for a long time. Dodge Pro plugin. And yeah, it'll be on sale at some point. So, but yeah, if you can pick this up on sale, there's some interesting stuff it can do. So yeah, let's go back here to Ableton. And yeah, okay. That's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.